My God, it was expensive, right? But that was of the best portable studios you could get at the time, right? Made by Boss and everything like that. So the point I'm making is that you're going to have to measure the cost versus the benefit here. And when you're getting the equipment, like, so you say, well, why buy mics or whatever if it's not worth it to start your own studio? Well, I'm not saying it's not worth it to start your own studio. I'm saying you got to live within the limitations of what your studio budget's going to be. And for most people in this day and age, they're not going to start off with a $10,000 studio. So even if they can get the best Mac computer, right, and whatever the best DAW is currently available, they still have to do sound treatment on the walls. Good luck with that. Yeah, there's ways of doing it with blankets and stuff like that, but to do it really, really well, to have like what they call a dead room, you're looking at 12 grand just to start for a little box about the size of this table. Just so you can record like a vocal booth, right? So it's to do it on the extreme cheap is I'm sure it's doable, but there's also a saying, and I'll leave you with this saying, and this is so true in so many aspects of life, but we'll just use it for musicians. Don't spend $100 to save 10. Let me repeat that. Do not spend $100 to save 10. Because we do that all the time when we think, okay, well, we're going to buy the thing that'll get us here, when we should have just not bought this, and then this. We should have just went this to this. You know what I mean? Start out here, but don't buy the next one that's a little bit better. Save your money, get something that's worth it. But do your research so you're not buying something that's, when you're looking for a better version of this, you don't want to just be buying a better version of this, and vice versa. You want to buy the stuff that's going to be the tool to the job. Don't spend $100 to save 10. And that's why, like, when I make musical purchases, whatever it is, like when I bought my bass, it's like a cheap bass. I'm like, I didn't want to buy a cheap bass. I wanted to just jump right to the professional sounding bass, but I just don't have the money for that right now. So what I have to weigh and measure is buying a cheap bass right now. I will never buy another cheap bass again, because the next bass has to be super duper good. So whatever. So I was like, okay, get the job done. And I'm having the same thing with the drum kits. I don't want to buy 3 drum kits. A beginner one, okay, the hardware sucks on it and it doesn't sound that great, whatever. Then buy an intermediate one, oh, this is a little bit better. And then, okay, later on I'd rather go like nothing and then $7,000 drum kit, you know what I mean? It just because I know that's going to, but I'm not saying I'm going to go out and spend $7,000 on a drum kit, but you get what I'm getting. Like I want the tool to the job. I'm at the level of a musician. It does not make any sense to buy subpar equipment. It's not about the price. Sometimes you can get phenomenal deals used. And you buy like a Neil Peart style drum kit for $1,000. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's a DW that's just, okay, it's 20 years old, but it's got all new skins on it, a brand new double bass pedal, all new hardware, everything. Right? And sometimes you can find it, but you got to know what you're looking at. So you go buy something, you want to make sure it's something that it's going to be doing the job you want. So getting back to the microphones, the same thing. There's a lot of microphones out there other than these two. And to upgrade from these two, what do you want for your studio? What do you want for live? What do you want for the instruments and stuff like that? So like my third mic is going to be something that has to be really good for vocals for me. And if it's good for guitars and other things, great, bonus, right? But for the guitars, I'm not worried about, because again, most of that's done internally. So I'm not, whatever. And then if there's a fourth mic later on, which there probably will be, but I want mics that, like, okay, like for example, this I've had since 2003 and it's been doing the job since 2003. You know what I mean? That's what I want. I want value for the money. I don't want, okay, this is good, but it's not good enough. I should have held out and spent a little bit more and got something a little bit better. Or I just went out and bought the most expensive thing, not realizing it's a phenomenal mic, but it's not the tool I need, right? So don't spend $100 to save 10. Just keep that in mind. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the discussion. I like these long form discussions on any topic I do. Some people don't like that because I know everybody has TikTok brain and, you know, you get to the point in 4 seconds and whatever. And what is the point of this video? It is really just to kind of give you an idea that once you get past that kind of bare minimum beginner level, you know, where do you start versus where you're going next? And to really think about that next step so you're not, you know, spending years doing trial and error. Well, buy this mic, will it work? Oh, it doesn't work. Okay, well, I'll buy this one then. Do the research on it. Same with speakers, same with anything, guitars, same thing. You know, with guitars, it's easy. You just go in the store and whatever's on the wall, you try it. And that'll be the honesty meter right there. You know, if you're not buying it based on looks and you're not buying it based on brand or whatever, a lot of times you don't need to spend anywhere near the money you thought you had to spend. And sometimes you buy a guitar, whether it be acoustic or an electric, and it's just like, wow, this thing, bang for the buck, was just such a great deal. And I'm one of those guys that I can look at the specs of a guitar and just say, no, I'm not even going to waste my money on it, no matter what the price is. It's not going to give me what I want. And a lot of that has to do with materials. So when I buy a guitar, like the guitars I have, I think are quite phenomenal. Because when I bought them, I knew that the recipe of those guitars was going to work for what I wanted to do, right? And, you know, like the 7 strings and the 8 strings and stuff like that. And it's not that I bought the best guitars in the world. It's I bought the right tools for the job, right? So mics are the same thing. It's just a different, you know, it's just a different area where a lot of people neglect. So getting information, you have to dig a little more to get it. But when you get the information you want, you can pick the right tool to the job, you know. And the thing is you could scratch it off the list. Okay, I got a mic, it does vocals. It might not be the best mic in the world, but it does vocals great. And once it does the vocals great, it's like, okay, you just scratch it off, you know, now you can focus on something else. And that will move you forward a lot faster. Yeah, there you go. And it'll help you if you are slowly setting up a studio. You know what I mean? So you got to, and then again, going to studios, see how they're set up. You could save yourself, like a lot of guys will just say, don't even waste your money on that. You know, just, you know, do without it until you can afford something better. But that takes time too, right? And I know not everybody has a lot of money. So you got to start somewhere. I get that. And equipment gets outdated after a while, but really, really good equipment does the job for years and years and years, even decades. You know what I mean? So, but sometimes you need a different tool for the job. So, all right. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. Food for thought on microphones. I know not the best discussion in the world to have. Guitars are more fun to talk about and stuff like that. But I think microphones are often highly overlooked. And, you know, like trying stuff. And, you know, if you guys have links of sound samples of different mics that you think are really impressive for vocals in the studio, for really, you know, that are really good bang for the buck, by all means, post it down below, share it. You know, rising tide floats all boats. All right. Have yourselves a great day.